Hey, you guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Purposed Millennial Podcast. I am super excited to be here today. On this episode, I know it's been a while, but I've been very, very busy actually filming my first ever feature film. So, for you guys who don't know, I'm also a filmmaker and I went to film school a couple years ago. Went to the Big Apple, the big city of New York City, Manhattan, and I studied film. And so I finally have just finished my first feature film. I actually made a movie, you guys, and I'm super excited to share more about that with you guys in the next coming weeks and coming months. So we are in the editing process right now, and I think it took at least about 9 months for us to pull this off and get this together. We just finished filming, though, the production stage of it last month. So it was very intense. I was gone for several weeks filming with my cast and my crew, and everyone did an amazing job. And so that was a huge accomplishment. It's something I've been wanting to do for so long. And so that's actually one reason why I'm coming on here today to talk to you guys about something different, but in the same wheelhouse. I'm hoping to get a couple of my crew and my associate producer on the podcast, hopefully in the next few weeks, maybe next month, to talk about how we made the film and get you guys some behind the scenes, stories and things on how we did it. So be looking forward to that. But for today, I'm super excited, you guys, because this is something that, I could say, oh, I don't want to give away this information because it's too cool. But it's like, no, it's something that should be shared because it's part of my story, and it's something that I wouldn't call it a secret, but it's something that I just don't think a lot of people are talking about. And so I really wanted to share it with you guys. So it's something that just a week or two ago, I just was going over in my head how I've been able to do so many things in my life, even from a young age, when it comes to my dreams and my goals. I've raised a lot of money over the years to do what I wanted to do, and sometimes I've done things where I didn't need money, I needed other things. I needed, a mentor, a friend, I needed advice, wisdom, experience, and those things have always come my way. I've always had what I needed. And I was just thinking, what are the things that have really helped me get to where I am and to be happy and to actually be able to accomplish these things? What is it? What's the secret? What is it that I've learned? And it just hit me. It's like a light bulb went off. And I actually got so excited about it that I wrote an entire it's a PDF document, but it's a little bit of a guide, a resource that I've created for you guys to go over in more detail what I'm about to share with you. But I have a few things from that printed out in front of me, and I'm going to go through a little bit of it with you. So this is what I call the 4 keys to your future. Basically, it's 4 things that I realized all of us have, but a lot of people get these things confused with one another, and it's in the wrong order, and it just makes it confusing, and it makes it harder for you to get to where you want to go. Okay, but so let me go over what these 4 things are. So we all have these 4 things. We have them in the past, right? So we have wishes, dreams, goals, and vision. So at some point in your life, you've probably, explored these things. A lot of us, every single year we create what we call, a New Year's list of goals, New Year's resolutions, right? That's great, but most of them, the percentages show that most of those things we write down don't ever come true. They don't really happen. There's a lot of reasons for that. Number one being that we don't follow through and we don't do anything about what's on that list. A bigger issue, my thoughts are that one of the main reasons we don't accomplish any of those things is because, number one, they're too vague. We just say, oh, I want to lose, I don't know, I want to lose some weight this year. Okay, well, that's not being specific. Number one, how much weight are you going to lose and by when? How are you going to do that? Are you going to get a trainer? Are you going to eat a certain way? Are you going to work out more? And people are just, they think that they can just write it down and it's going to fall in their lap. And that's just not how this happens. It's not how any of these things work. But on the flip side of that, there's something else, again, that we don't talk about a lot. So I actually think that a lot of people don't understand the difference between wishes, dreams, goals, and a vision. Okay, and so I'm going to go over with you what those things are and how people get them confused and what you can do to understand, hey, okay, which one is this and what do I do about it? Okay, so let's go over number one. What actually is a wish? Okay, so I'm going to go over with you the actual definition from the dictionary, what a wish is, and then I'll go over what that means. Okay, so a wish is a desire or hope for something to happen. Okay, a lot of people, the things they write down, you've probably done this yourself. I've done this at times. Every year when New Year's comes around, those things that you write down on that list are really just random wishes. That's all they are. Okay, we have wishes all the time, right? You wish, I wish I woke up earlier this morning. Man, I wish I didn't spill my coffee on someone today or on myself in the car. I wish I had more money. I wish I was thinner. I was this, I was that. Wish, wish, wish. We do that every single day. That's something it's just like an everyday habit that we have. And unfortunately, because they are constant and they're fleeting and we have them all the time, they're not really grounded in a lot of thought. And so they don't really create a lot of productivity. And most of the time, they're actually very self-oriented. And in other words, they often happen and they're created from these very selfish moments in our life. When you think about them, a lot of them are probably negative when you think about things you wish for on a daily basis. Now, that's not always the case, but a lot of times it is. So they're very physical and circumstantial is how I would describe them, okay? So they can point us to more meaningful thoughts, but wishes on their own are pretty useless, okay? So that's my take on wishes. So just keep that in mind. We're going to go on to dreams. So what is a dream? A dream, according to the dictionary, is a cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal. So wishes, they speak about things that might be somewhat negative or just circumstantial, but dreams, they can reflect our greatest desires to contribute. So, a lot of people have dreams that when they come true, they're not just going to benefit you, they're also going to benefit other people. Okay, dreams are things that, when somebody says the word dream, someone just gets in their head this very inspirational, thought in their mind. Like, I don't know, when a kid's young, I want to be an astronaut one day. I want to be a firefighter. I want to write a book. I want to do something. It usually is something that is going to take some work. And I think that's what's inspirational about it. Is we're like, oh wow, that would take you a while to get there, but if that actually happened, that would be really cool, and I might be inspired by that. Okay, so, they're usually things that actually have been with us for a long time, and when we're brave enough to share what they are, people around us are kind of stunned sometimes, because they're like, oh wow, that's kind of cool, right? Because it points us to our true selves. And a lot of times, it reflects what our core values are, what our core ideals are, okay? And I think because of that, a lot of times we're afraid to talk about them. And so that's why a lot of times they're a secret. We really don't talk a lot about our dream. We talk about goals, but goals, we're going to talk about those in a minute. They're not the same thing as dreams. So it's important, see, what in my personal opinion, I've actually come up with this analogy. So in my mind, a dream, it incorporates so much of who we are that it incorporates our past, our present, and our future. And there's this thing that I like to call, I'm getting a call right now, I'm going to decline that. Somebody's trying to interrupt the podcast, you guys. Okay. So, back to what I was saying. So, a dream is very similar to a noun in the sense that a noun has what? 3 parts. It has to be a person, place, or a thing, right? We all know that. So, in the same way, a dream has to be something that we want to do, be, or have. Okay? So, at the very baseline of that triangle, I would say you have the have part of it, and then each side that helps create and form the triangle together is the do and the be part. Okay, so what I mean by that is, a lot of people, they usually start with dreams when they are telling someone about their dream. It's a have dream. I want to make $1 million one day. Okay, you want to have $1 million so you can have a certain lifestyle, so you can do certain things. Okay, that's a have dream. But when you get down to it, if you say, well, okay, why do you want to have that though? The answer could be very more emotional. It could be something that represents you. So you could say, well, I want to do that because I want to buy a house for so-and-so. I want to have kids. I want to have them grow up in a certain city or a certain place. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to work on another dream, which is, I don't know, just say anything. I want to learn how to play tennis. I want to write a book, whatever. Okay, so in order to have any of those things, you're going to have to, number one, become someone else. Become a new version of yourself. Hopefully a better one. But you're going to have to become someone that contributes something in order to have those things. And in order to become, you have to do. Okay? So for example, if I don't run every day, I'm not a runner. I'm someone that talks about running, but I don't run, so I'm not a runner. If I don't write every day, I'm not a writer. Okay? So that's why I say it's a triangle, because you have to have all 3 sides in order for it to work. In order for it to be a dream, it has to have a do, be, and a have side of it. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Let's keep going. So let's go down to vision. So what is a vision? A vision is, there's a couple of different definitions here, but I'll go over them. It's the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. And then the second part of that is it's a mental image of what the future will or could be like. So a vision goes even deeper. It goes down to a life mission or a purpose in life. So I tell people that, if your dream isn't working, it's probably because you don't have a vision. You don't have a purpose behind that dream. It's all about you, and it's not about a bigger idea or a bigger plan or a way that you can contribute to other people. Okay? And trust me, it does not work without that. So for example, I'll go back to the movie I made last month. So I decided to go back to film school, a few years ago, to become either a writer or director, right? And during that time, one of the things that inspired me to do that was I had to take a really hard, good look at my life at the time and where it was going. I thought I was going to do stuff in real estate and stay in that industry for a while. I've always been a very ambitious person, So, I started my first business when I was 19 years old. So I was already doing things, but my parents, after they went through a divorce, I had to really think about, is this something I'm good at? Is this something that's making me happy? Is this something that really goes down to who I am as a person and what I want to contribute? So the answer was no. What is? And that's how I ended up with film. So, the thing is though, during the process of becoming a filmmaker over the past at least 3 years, during my time in school, when I was away in New York and in film school, we had an assignment for school, and one of those assignments was giving a presentation to our class and our teachers about kind of where we wanted to go as a filmmaker, the kind of stories we wanted to tell, etc. So I made a statement during that time period. In that presentation, I said, the kind of stories that I want to tell is I want to always tell things and be a part of things that support the culture and the concept of family. Okay? So this goes down to having a dream and a vision and how they need to be paired together. So my dream was to become a filmmaker, right? But my vision was to use that platform to tell stories and to support ideas and things that meant something to me personally. Okay? So for me, that was family, like I said. So guess what? It came true. Not only did it come true, just last month actually, we're still working on creating it, editing it so that you guys can see it. But, the whole story itself was very reflective of that mission statement that I made in school. What it's about is very reflective of that. Okay, so here's kind of how I like to look at that. When you think about a sailboat, and I'm not a sailor, but I love the water and I love boats, so I looked this up, and a sail, the piece where the wind catches the sail, right? And that's what steers and takes the sailboat and makes it do what it's supposed to do. Okay, the sail is connected to what they actually attach that to is this huge, sturdy, steel-like thing that is called the mast, right? And it sticks straight up in the middle of the boat. And that is what the sail is attached to. So the mast and the sail have to be connected and working together in order for the sailboat to sail and do what it's meant to do. Okay, so in my mind, that's why I say your vision and your dream, they have to be paired together. You have to have more than just a dream that's just about you. Okay, so your dream, in a sense, it's a part of the vehicle. And then you have the vision, which is going to help you make that vehicle run and take you on the path and get you to where you want to go, right? They have to be paired together. Okay? So the last thing, and this is another thing that we're all familiar with, is goals. So what is a goal? A goal is the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or a desired result. Okay, so besides wishes, all of the lists that we make around New Year's are called, I would say the only other thing they are is a list of random goals. Okay, and that's fine, but, again, that's not going to get you anywhere because it's not paired with something more meaningful to you. It's not very specific. Okay? Now, I know this is a lot of information to take in. It's something that, I've been thinking about for a while, and how do I explain it? But I just want you guys to think about this. A lot of people, we have ideas in our head. We have dreams in our heart. We have lists probably sitting around somewhere in our house right now of things we've thought about doing, things we wanted to do in the past, new ideas, new dreams. But how do we really get there? how do we really make them come true? The number one thing that I think is a stumbling block for people, especially if you're stuck right now, the number one thing that's the problem is we're focusing on way too many things at one time, and we have lists and we have ideas and all these things. They're probably one of these four things that I've listed. It's probably a wish, a goal, or a vision, or a dream. Okay, so if you don't understand the difference between these four things and you don't know how to apply that, you're not going to go anywhere. It's like you're pedaling, the wheels are going, but you're not getting anywhere. Okay, and trust me, I know how frustrating that is because I've been there as well. But now that you know what those four things are, I want you to think just for a minute about, number one, what are your actual dreams versus these other three things that it could be. Once you find out what your actual dreams are, and these are things that go back to who you are as a person, what makes you tick, what drives you, something that is motivating you, something that you feel like you have to be a part of, you have to create, you have to contribute to the rest of the world. Once you've found what those things are, the trick is you have to pick just one of them. I'm sorry, but this is not me telling you to let the rest of them go. This is me saying you have to pick one to focus on first and accomplish one of them, and then watch what happens with the rest of those things. But you can't be doing everything at one time. The number one thing of the most successful people in the world that they do on a regular basis is they are extremely, extremely focused. And trust me, I know it's true because over the past 9, almost 10 months now, I have focused on one thing, and that was making my movie, making this film happen, figuring out funding. I wrote the story, so I had to write it first, and then I had to get a team of crew, and then I had to cast. I had to find the whole cast. I had to do casting. Of course, there was people to help me with all of this, but this was a very, very intense process. Not to mention, we also did it on a very small budget compared to anyone else in this industry. So it was a big challenge. It was a very big task, a very big thing to take on. But I will tell you, there were days where I did not get a lot of sleep. I had almost no social life over the last, 9-10 months. So it's been intense, but sometimes that's what it takes to make all of your dreams come true. It takes focus. It takes willpower. It takes sometimes a lot of prayer from other people, a lot of belief in yourself. It takes a lot of things, but you have to pick one to start with. You have to start somewhere, right? And so that's something that I just wanted to go over with you guys, is just, if you're feeling stuck, maybe it's because, you have this idea, you have this list, and you don't know what the difference is. You don't know, is this a goal? And where am I getting the goal from? What is the goal attached to? What am I trying to do with that goal? Why do I need to lose weight? Do I have a condition? Have I been to the doctor recently? Do I want to feel better? What's the end result that I'm trying to get? If it's a vision, what dream are you pairing that vision with? Okay. If it's a wish, why, maybe it's a trigger for something else, for you to ask yourself other questions. If this is just a wish in the moment, I wish I had this, I wish I didn't have to deal with this. Maybe that's your body or your mind telling you, hey, there's something else going on. You're stressed. You're this. You're not feeling well. Why? Maybe there's something else in your life you need to be talking about or addressing. So understanding these four things, I think, is crucial to people, going after your goals and dreams and kind of organizing and prioritizing your life in a sense. So this is something that it went off in me over the past couple weeks. I just had to share it with you guys. And in doing so, I know it's a lot of information to take in. So that's why, I made this episode about this. And I wanted to make it fairly short because I know that it's a lot to think about at one time. But I'm not going to leave you guys hanging, okay? I want to also now share with you something pretty awesome that I'm coming up with. I am actually creating a new website, a new resource for you guys. Right now, we're in the process of finishing up the website and getting this entire PDF guide available for you guys to download on the website, so that this was just a few couple pages of it, but it's going to go into more detail on what we've talked about in this episode. Okay. So on this website, it's going to be called, you can go to dreamordie.org, and it's going to have more information about the guide, about how to get it, free resources I'm going to have for you guys coming up very soon on that website. And it's just a part of me trying to help support you guys in what you want to do with your life. Sharing more of my story with you guys. So I'm just super excited to share that with you. Now, again, hopefully the next episode that you guys will see me on is the one where I will share more about my filmmaking process with you guys, where you guys can watch the film. Hopefully in the next few months we'll have it ready for you guys to see. We will be moving into distribution, film festivals, things like that. So I'm so excited to share that with you guys. But it's in the works, but it's going to take some time. But in the meantime, by the time you're listening to this episode, the resource should be out. So we should have that website up for you guys. So if you want to get the guide, it's what I'm calling, I don't have it in front of me, but it's what I'm calling the 15-minute guide to finding and fast tracking your biggest dreams. It shouldn't take you more than 15 to 20 minutes to fill out. It has some questions in there, some lists for you guys to write out. It goes through all these steps with you in more detail. So I just want to share this with you guys and let you know that, I am here to help you guys. I'm here to share with you guys what I've learned through the years, what I'm learning right now, and hopefully, continue to build a community around this idea of the Purposed Millennial. So that is all I have for today, you guys. If you have any questions, comments, you can, find me here on this podcast. You can go to my website. You can find me on YouTube as well. Instagram at I am Sarah Hall. And I will see you guys very soon in the next episode. And until then, you guys, remember, every life matters, but only you can make yours count. I'll see you guys next time. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of the Purposed Millennial. I just have one last thing to mention before you go, and that is that if you want to download and access the PDF guide that I mentioned in this episode, it is now available on our new website for download and purchase. So you can go to dreamordie.org right now. It's only $5. It's less than your cup of coffee at Starbucks in the morning, and it's called Choosing Your Now Dream. It's a 15-minute guide to find and fast track your biggest dreams. So in this guide, it's really helpful. It goes over 3 main things that are helpful. So it has 4 key elements to your future. It has 3 different exercises that you can do that's going to help you gain the 3rd thing, which is a clear strategy for the future, and help you focus on the next big dream that you should be focusing on for the next 6 months, maybe a little longer, but it'll help you get clear on the strategies and get you focused on what you should be doing right now. So if you want this guide, go to dreamordie.org. You can download it and purchase it today, and I hope it's helpful to you guys, and we'll see you in the next episode.